Hello, everyone. It's Rachel here with the Charlotte Mason Plenary, and today I'm meeting with Amy Bodkin. Now, Amy has lots of roles over at the Charlotte Mason Plenary. She has been our special needs consultant for years, and today, though, we're talking about two of the classes that she's teaching in the Charlotte Mason Co-op. And right now, we're going to talk about leatherworking, the handicrafts class. Yes? So,
Yes.
yes. So, Amy, tell us all about your class and why people should join.
Well, one, you should join because it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
I don't
All of
believe
your
in doing
classes are,
anything.
I know, all of your classes are so fun. Everybody
Yeah.
says.
Yes. I don't believe in doing anything unless it's fun. If I'm not having fun, then I really need to reconsider that. Uh, so I teach mostly handicrafts in the Charlotte Mason Co-op. And a lot of the reason I teach handicrafts is because having worked as the special needs consultant at a Charlotte Mason Plenary, handicrafts is something that is relatively accessible to most people, depending on how you teach it. And that's the key. So when I teach handicrafts, I'm not looking for you to be able to do some kind of technique or skill perfectly. I'm not looking for you to come away from the class being an expert on making, masks with leather. Like that's not my goal.
So,
We'll
what's the
make the
goal?
mask. Yeah.
Tell us the goal because it's a great goal. I love your goals.
The goal is to take a developmental approach to how we teach
Love it.
handicrafts so that everybody learns where they're ready to learn at. So I'll have a class full of people in completely different decades with completely different learning needs. Like I think the broadest range I've ever had in a class was 3 years old to 50. And
I
they all
love it.
learned together. And it was great. So there's
And
something for everybody to work where they're at. And I do that by how I organize the class. I organize it based around projects that we can all work on at our skill level, what's accessible for us. And we're all learning something because we're learning about the material that we're working with. We're learning about the tools that we're using, and we're learning some technique too. But the first part is learning about the material and the tools that we use, because that allows us to use our creativity to come up with all sorts of new ideas of how we can play with those things and come up with cool new ideas. Handicrafts is cool because it allows you to create new things. If you're just recreating what everybody else has created, that is not very artistic or creative or fun for that matter. That's just repeating what somebody else has done. That's becoming a cog in a wheel. I mean, yes, it can be a wonderful thing to be skilled, to be able to reproduce something somebody else has created. But there's something really cool about being able to understand your material intuitively enough and the tools to be able to come up with your own ideas.
yeah, I love the two goals or two emphasis that you put in your handicrafts class. And one is developing a relationship with the material. I love that. And then coming at it from a developmental approach because everybody comes at handicrafts with such a different skill level and different abilities, different strengths and weaknesses, that I love how you structure the class so that everybody, no matter what their skill level, can participate and have fun and feel like they are accomplishing something
Yeah.
with
I
your
remember
class.
that really surprised you when you took the woodworking class. You were like, "Oh my goodness, we're actually going to learn about like wood."
That's true. And my daughter and I had a great time in your woodworking class, which is also available if people would like to purchase it and enroll in it as a pre-recorded class.
Mhm.
So let me just explain. At the Charlotte Mason Co-op, we have live classes and we also offer pre-recorded classes. The pre-recorded classes you can go at your own pace, right?
Yes. Yes,
And Amy has quite a few of them. I
I do.
at least four, I'm thinking. But we also offer the live classes where students and instructors meet live based on a schedule, right? You meet live via Zoom and you go through the class and the instructions, and you are there to answer questions and encourage students and all that sort of stuff. So the leatherworking class is a live class that's meeting this semester for the spring of 2023. Yeah.
Yes, and this class will be a little bit different than some of the other handicraft classes I've done before, because I will also have students with me live while recording the class. So we're going to get to see like different skill levels, different questions, everybody kind of coming
That's
to it
interesting.
at their own pace. Yeah, well, my kids were going to take it, and then some of their friends who signed up are local, so they're just going to come join us in the room.
Nice,
So,
nice.
or in a different room, and they'll be on the camera. I haven't decided yet how I'm working that out, but it'll definitely make for a little bit more of a fun, interactive type setup, whereas opposed to just me being there like, hey guys, we have fun anyways.
Yeah.
Fun is never a problem for handicrafts. And the whole goal when I do these handicrafts classes is I want kids, no matter who they are, to feel like they can show up and learn something that they can do themselves.
Yes. And
Mhm.
so, speaking of something they can do, what are some of the projects? Like I could list. I've got your the site up.
Perfect.
Yeah. So the the projects include leather bookmarks, a
That one I'm
drawstring.
super excited about, because that is like the introduction project that is accessible to anybody. We will use what tools and techniques work for your kid at their skill level. Anybody can do it.
Yeah.
Um, and that's going to be a great one. It's also fantastic because a lot of times people are looking for like homemade gifts to make for people. And this is a great homemade gift that's accessible to kids at all levels. That's one of the things. If you do homemade gifts in your home and other people in your home are really skilled at it, and then maybe some of your kids don't feel very skilled at it and they want something they can be proud of. So that's a great project. It's a really good starting place, and there's so many options. And that's the thing. You always have options with me.
Yes, I love the options. Okay, and then like you mentioned a mask. There's a
Oh yeah.
drawstring bag, bracelets,
Yes.
belt, a
Mhm.
journal, um,
Yes.
a pouch, all the way up to moccasins.
Oh, yes. We're gonna make moccasins in the traditional way.
Nice.
I'm very excited. And you can play with it, like, there's different styles of moccasins. Um, and I made moccasins for my kids when they were small, and, they would wear them around town. It's, the best way to get some natural footwear.
There you go. Now y'all are a very handy crafty family. Y'all have done lots of handicrafts in your home.
Yeah.
So you are, shall I say, well, an expert in handicrafts, certain handicrafts.
You can never know everything about
True,
everything, but
true,
I have definitely spent a lot of time doing different tyes of handicrafts, and different people in our house are more skilled at different ones than others.
true.
Woodworking has definitely been one that has we've spent a lot of time on. Leatherworking is definitely one that I spent a fair amount of time on as well. As I said, I used to make my kids their own shoes. I started making those little drawstring leather bags when I was in elementary school. I read about it in one of my books about Native Americans, and I was like, I want to make one of these. I can make this. This is something that's accessible. So my
Nice,
kids
I
have
love it.
leatherworking things that I have made in their rooms, and there's all kinds of advanced things. The cool thing about the projects we're doing, they are going to be teaching you the skills that you need to be able to make your own leather armor. So if you want to like cosplay Minecraft or do some other kind of cool cosplay that involves leather armor, you'll have the skills to do that. I am not teaching you how to make armor. That is outside the scope of our class. But you will have the skills to be able to make leather armor. Now, is that
If
cool or what?
if you want to, right? If you should so choose to.
Absolutely. And we're going to be borrowing techniques and like designs and stuff from lots of different cultures, because I'm not a big fan of reinventing the wheel. If somebody has figured out a cool technique, then we're going to use that. So you'll see a wide range of different types of crafts, activities, techniques, those kinds of things. So, and really,
All right.
that's a part of handicrafts. It's not just about learning the material. It's not just about learning the technique. It's also about, oh, and the tools, but it's also about learning how different cultures have interacted with this material over time throughout history. So
Well,
turns out handicrafts can be a history class too.
yes, absolutely. Because you just mentioned Native Americans. You
Yes,
you learned
absolutely.
some handicrafts from learning about the history of Native Americans, and
Yes.
then when you're talking about the leather armor, it took me back to Plutarch class that I
Yeah.
teach because back in ancient Rome and Greece, they had leather armor. And so often I will show a picture with our picture study of somebody in leather armor, and the kids are always like, what is that they're wearing? They never heard of leather armor, so
Unless they played Minecraft. And so obviously anyone who's in your Plutarch class needs to take leatherworking so that they can do a project at the end of these classes to create their own Roman cosplay.
nice, love it. Yeah. We're doing Julius Caesar this semester, so it fits
Perfect.
right in. Yeah.
It does. We planned it that way on purpose.
I
Definitely.
love it. I love it. Okay, so what else do people need to know about your leatherworking class?
One, you should sign up. It will be fun and it will be accessible. Two, you do not have to feel any significant guilt from not doing everything. You come at it and approach what feels comfortable. And if it doesn't feel comfortable, don't do it or ask for an accommodation or do it differently. I always offer people options for doing things differently. I also don't assign homework. I don't believe in homework. I don't like homework personally. So I never assign homework. We will, all right, actually, sometimes I do assign homework with handicrafts. That's true. I forgot. We will, all right, I will give you the tools to work with it. You can either do it in class or you can do it after class, but it's not due. It's not like I'm going to show up to class and go, okay, where's everybody's masks? Oh, you didn't do your homework? No,
Right.
I don't really care. Um, but I do want to give people the opportunity to share in class. Hey, look at what I worked on, and it gives us new ideas of different things we can try. So you will need some tools, and they are listed on the website for the class. Some are required, some are not. And it will really depend on the individual as to which tools you use how often. But the ones that are required are kind of like this is like the basics of things you should have on hand. If you have a 3-year-old, they're probably not going to use all of the tools. But that doesn't mean someone else in your house won't, or that they might not want to try it with help. So there's definitely going to be a little bit of a range depending on who in your household's taking the class. But the required ones are kind of like this is the basics to get you set up with how to work with leather.
Right. To do the projects that y'all will be doing in class.
That's right.
Yeah.
Exactly. So,
Yes, and I love that, you talked about how not everyone has to do every project, or you can switch projects, you can get accommodations, because as you know, we're all about Charlotte Mason your way,
that's
doing things your way, what fits your family and your
right. Mhm.
needs and your interests. So I love that. And let's see. Oh, the other thing I wanted to mention is that all classes, the registration fee for all classes is per family,
Yes.
not per student.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big plus because we really wanted to keep everything affordable and accessible to families.
Yes.
And so you just pay one fee, and all your kids, and including mom and or dad,
Mm-hmm.
can participate in the class. And if you don't, if you can't make a live class, they always have access to the recording. So, like you said, they can complete the project after class, in between class, at their own pace, whenever they want, because they have
Well,
access to that.
and the nice thing about the classes is that I think it's $65 registration fee, right?
Yeah. For the
So
live
it's,
class, yes.
yeah, it's a discounted price than most of the other classes that we offer. And I did that on purpose because I know that you guys have to spend money on supplies. So I wanted to discount it a little bit because I know that sometimes when we get real tools and real handicraft materials, it can get a little bit pricey. So I tried to be aware of that while picking out the supplies and such. But on the bright side, after you're done with this class, you're going to have the tools and the materials to be able to make pretty much whatever you want, within reason. And you're definitely going to have a whole lot more knowledge. And it would be the equivalent of like an introduction to leatherworking for an adult class, except it's designed to work for families.
Yeah, it's so affordable, and I love that, you know, the whole family can participate, and that it's a skill that you can take forward with you.
Yes.
And so many people are intimidated by handicrafts. If you're not a handicraft kind of person naturally, and I know a lot of moms are not. And then you enter this Charlotte Mason world of, oh, handicrafts, you got to do handicrafts.
Well, and I
These,
also like to include handicrafts that I focus on that are specifically ones that little boys are more interested in most of the
yes,
time. It doesn't mean little girls won't be interested, or it doesn't mean anybody won't be interested.
right.
But a lot of times moms tend to be more, and moms tend to be the homeschool parent most of the time, not always, but a lot of times. And moms tend to be a little bit more hampered when it comes to handicrafts that will interest their boys. They're like, let's do finger knitting or crocheting. Those are things I know how to do and feel comfortable in, and I won't accidentally hurt myself with those tools. But then when you start talking woodworking or leatherworking or metalworking, then you start seeing the anxiety going up really fast.
Yeah, so it's fabulous that you are offering these classes and making it so accessible to not only the students, but the parents too.
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. I don't think we have any questions, so we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. And unless you can think of anything else that people need to
I
know.
don't think so. If you have questions, feel free to ask me, but I don't put any kind of age cap on my classes. If you're 50, 60, 73, 2, it's fine by me. Obviously if you're 2 or 3, you're going to definitely need a little bit more supervision than some of our older students, but you are welcome to participate, and we definitely have activities that you can do. My daughter was using a hammer by at least 3, like a real one, to build things of her own design. So I have definitely had small children that are interested, but I've also seen kids less interested until they get bigger. But if we're not having fun, then I'm teaching the class wrong. Because everybody who takes the class should have a good time and feel like they have gained something. So
Yeah, I've not
just
heard.
ask questions and I'll come back and answer them later.
Yeah, in the comments, you can definitely leave your questions. But yeah, I've not heard any negative feedback from any of Amy's classes. All the
It's my
kids had
goal.
fun. Yes, well, that it's a good goal that that students should enjoy the class and have fun and walk away feeling accomplished. Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. And everyone should feel that way, not just my average students.
right, right. Thank you so much, Amy. We appreciate it. And y'all go sign up for Amy's leatherworking class. It starts in a couple weeks. Next week, the week after.
Not next week, the week after.
Week after.
So you've only got a little, maybe 14 days to sign
Yeah,
up.
yeah, or
So,
less. Yeah. Okay, thanks.
uh-huh.
Bye.